Doki Doki Within is a Doki Doki Literature Club fan mod that is not affiliated in any way with Team Salvato. It is designed to be played only after the official game has been completed and contains spoilers for the official game. Game files for Doki Doki Literature Club are required to play this mod and can be downloaded for free at either the official website or Steam. By playing Doki Doki Within, you agree that you have completed the original game and accept any spoilers contained within. Haha. There's a world within me that I cannot explain. Oh. Greetings! I am Amy and welcome to Doki Doki Within. So, I already really like this title screen, not just because of the art, but I do like this music. This piano music seems really fitting. Oh god, I'm starting with the ups already. I've noticed that I was recording something earlier. I'm taking a lot of deep breaths. I hope it isn't going to be too noticeable while I'm playing. I don't know if it's because I'm still feeling a little sick, but I hope it isn't going to ruin anyone's enjoyment here. And I'm going to play Doki Doki Within. So all I know about this mod also stems from the song Perfect from Plexi on YouTube. I'm going to link both the song and his channel down below simply because I did enjoy the song. So there are a few things that I feel I know, but I'm going into this mostly blind, especially since none of my friends have played it yet. So I'm already taking a more deep breath than usually. Please enter your name. So I do like to use names that I associate with the character for every mod I play, or like for mod the contents of the mod, not just the character. But in this case, I'm going to pick a girl, and I'm going to go with Jasmine. I know it's very clearly a guy here, but you know what? Whatever. Jasmine is from a fanfiction I wrote, you know? With Monica, so. Act 1, something about us. Cool. It's a regular Tuesday morning like any other. Nothing too exciting, but not entirely boring either. It's just a basic run-of-the-mill school run. As usual, I'm waiting for Sayori, my neighbor and childhood best friend. She's the kind of person you couldn't imagine making friends with day one. But I guess it just works since we've known each other basically all our lives. In a way, she's like the little sister I never had, despite her being a whole 2 months older than me. I look at the clock on my phone. Come on, Sayori, we'll be late at this rate. I grumble to myself. Eventually, the door of her house opens and out emerges Sayori. She's just getting her bag on, all while keeping a half-eaten slice of firm toast locked in her jaw. Of toast firmly locked in her jaw. Sorry, I overslept again. Her voice is particularly muffled by the toast. Sorry, I'm late again. I just roll my eyes and give her a smirk. I figured. Hey! Sarah finally takes the toast off her mouth and speaks, her voice still slightly muffled due to her chewing. That's me, Jasmine! I'm kidding. I chuckle. Since we were young, it's always been easy to tease Sayori from time to time. Oh, she teases back. She knows I'm joking, but her reactions are way too fun to pass up. Anyways, you coming? Well, yeah! We soon start to walk up to school. With every passing minute, the streets start getting flooded with students, ranging from groups of friends, those on their own, and couples. With Sayori and I making small talk along the way up, she then brings up something that's clearly been on her mind for a bit. So, you've not joined a club yet, have you? Not yet, no. I scratch the back of my neck as my voice trails off. Admittedly, I've not really been looking for any clubs. Not the ones I'd seen so far really piqued my interest, and the one club I'd been remotely interested in, the music club, had been closed the previous school year due to lack of funding. Oh. But we're interested in the music club. I think that's a pretty neat idea. Like, the MC in the original game did like this teenage thing of shutting himself out. And then engaged in anime and games. Maybe this one didn't shut himself out as much because his interest was more in music. I feel like that could make sense. I then look over at Sayori, who seems to be remembering something. Well, maybe you could check out my club. That reminds me, Sayori had recently told me that she was the vice president of the school's recently established literature club. Whilst literature had never really been my fancy, I do remember my English grades being decent at best. That, and as a budding musician, it helps to break down song lyrics to find the meaning behind each track. Yeah, I do feel like this is a nice change for him to be also more of a more open person. It kinda counts as poetry, right? I sigh. I mean, I don't really have much else to do, so I guess I can stop by. Yay! Sarah's at a cheery yawn. Still half asleep, I guess. Yay! That was not a yawn, but whatever. It was more of a forced yay. She then grumbles in a way that's still quite audible. Good job, I asked Natsuki to make those cupcakes last night. I decide to play dumb even though I clearly heard her. What was that? Nothing! She chuckles as we now will stand outside the school gates. Anyway, see you later! Sayori, wait! Before I can finish, she's already become one with the bustling masses. Isn't that like this one background that was like in these weird gacha games? I used to play one of those. I think that was one of the backgrounds. No, it looks a little different. I think it looks a little different. Never mind. Or maybe? I don't remember. I don't even know where the club is now. Knowing Sayori, she realized that and let me know later though, so I can't complain too much. I check my timetable to remind me of my first period. Period 1, History. Mr. Zerizawa. I forgot the name. How to speak the name. Zerizawa. History. One of the few subjects I'm genuinely any good at. I used to be bad at it, but the last 2 years of school I was quite good at it, which was probably related to the teacher. Time to get this day over with. I'm also still a bit stuffy. My nose is stuffy. This school day was about as ordinary as ever, and it's over as soon as it began. As I start packing my things, it hits me that I have not seen Sayori since this morning. She's gone to the club without me, hasn't she? By the time I get to the door, a familiar flash of peach-colored hair and a red bow catch my eye. Sayori runs up too, and then holds her arm against the wall. Give me a second. She speaks between exaggerated breaths. You didn't need to run here, you know. I chuckle with a smirk. She did. You almost left without her. But I forgot to tell you what the club is. My earlier guess was right, I suppose. Ah, fair enough. I step into the corridor. Geez, now when we get a good look at these walls, we get a really good look at how demotivating the school is. Anyway, we're going? Yep. It makes sense. It's in the main game too. That's no shade on the mod creator. I'm sure they, from what this one art piece I've seen during like this one music video, there's like some really good art in here. But like the background here was just you could just really see the white papers here. they're on. You can't ignore them. Sayori beams, seeming to fully recover from her breathlessness as we start to walk up. Lead us, Sayori, lead us. We soon found our way up to a section of the school that I rarely visit, besides for music class. Soon enough, though, we find our way to the clubroom. I have a peep through the window and can spot a purple-haired girl with a gentle yet intense expression that's focused on the book on her desk. I can also hear some partially muffled voices hinting at more members inside. Sayori swings the door open and bolts into the room. Guys, the new member is here! But I haven't even figured out if I like the club yet. Oh well. I timidly enter the room and wave as the club's other members look in my direction. The girl with the purple hair closes her book before getting up and walking towards me. I think I've seen her before in my science class. I could be wrong though. I'm not known for my attention span and signs after all. She speaks in a soft voice that matches her gentle expression. So you're the Jasmine that Sayori was talking about. She always says nice things about you. A much shorter girl with pink hair that's decorated with assorted red clips and ribbons comes up. Much like the other girl, I'm certain I've seen her in one of my classes. Just can't remember her name. Surely I'm not that bad with names, am I? Seriously, Sayori, you brought a boy! Way to kill the mood. Yeah, I'm assuming you didn't guess that because of the name. The taller girl sighs. Natsuki. The other girl, apparently named Natsuki, relents and averts her gaze away from me. I'm also certain that this is the same Natsuki that Sayori said made some cupcakes. Her smaller stature makes me think she may be a first-year student. But she was in one of your classes. Wouldn't you be a first-year student as well? Sayori then gets closer to me and whispers, "Just ignore her when she gets moody." She then bounces back as she steps towards the other girls. "Anyway, this is Natsuki, energetic as usual. And this is Yuri, the smartest in the club." Yuri's face goes a bit red. Don't say things like that. I can't imagine someone like her has a bit of a struggle keeping up with people like Sayori and Natsuki. "And of course there's Jasmine?" I'm assuming it's Monica, it's a question mark. A voice then calls out from behind me, causing me to turn around to meet a face I'd not seen that much since the second year of high school. Oh, we at least have like a bit of a way to discern which years everyone's in. Probably third year. In Japan, third year would be the last year of the high school. So, age span like lowest 17, but probably 18, 19, more in that range. Monica? Monica is the one with the voice where I have the least idea what to do with. Like, I let's just put in a little bit of an accent, I feel like. With the others, I notice the change in my voice better. So, this is going to be interesting. My face adopts a small grin. She doesn't look like she's changed too much. Then again, I have seen her around the school every so often, but we'd not had a class together since last school year. Back then, she was the most popular girl in the year, and I'm more than certain she still is. She's smart, beautiful, athletic. Oh, she starts smiling. She's also someone way out of the league of a guy like me. You shared interest in music. To be honest, I did develop a sort of schoolboy crush on her during the time we shared an English class, but I never worked up the courage to ask her out. We did work on group projects a fair bit though. I gulp. "I haven't seen you in ages. How have you been?" She smiles sweetly at me, still infectious as always. "I've been good, just busy as usual." That reminds me, Monica, without a doubt, was the hardest working person I knew. Her grades were always either near the top or fully on the top of the class and exams. "How about you, Jasmine?" Scratched the back of my neck nervously. "You know me, same old, same old." I chuckled just as nervously. "Anyways, why don't you come sit down?" She gestures over to an amalgamation of desks in the center of the room formed to create a makeshift table. I also note, oh god, I wonder if I'm breathing so heavily sometimes because my nose is stuffed. I'm going to blow my nose real quick. I hope it's not too loud. I also noticed that Natsuki and Yuri have gone to the back of the club room, presumably to get some other things. With a nod to Monica, I then make my way to sit next to Sayori, still kind of feeling kinda shy. Monica eventually joins us. Whilst having the occasional chat with Sayori, I do catch her making the occasional glance over at me. Eventually, she starts talking to me once again. "So, what made you consider the club?" I mean, I can't just lie to her. Well, Sayori mentioned it on the way to school this morning, and I had told her I'd check it out. I feel my face redden a little. No need to get embarrassed. Monica eases any nerves I admittedly may have had. "I promise we'll make you feel right at home, okay?" Again, I find myself smiling at her. We then hear Natsuki's footsteps approaching. I turn and notice her holding a small plastic container. Must be the fabled cupcake Sayori was on about earlier. She places a container on the table and rests her hand on the small tip of the edge of the lid. I wonder if this is like, this mod was created after the side stories. I didn't check up on that, but I do think it was created afterwards. With like the lid. Let's see if that like helped the writing, because all of the other mods I've played were before the side stories and people struggled a little bit with the interactions between the characters, so let's see. I'll check later on if it was created after the side stories, because I'm definitely not going through all of this in one day. Okay, y'all ready? Her voice is lined with anticipation. After a collective nod, Natsuki practically rips the lid off, revealing a batch of white fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like hats. Ta-da! Natsuki says that with a big toothy grin, clearly proud of her work. The three of our eyes lighten up. They look amazing. I feel kinda bad about eating them. The curse of good-looking food. Yeah, I know that. Especially since if it's the cat cupcakes, I tend to follow. Ever since my friend once did it, he like took one of the cupcakes that has like a nice face on it and just turned it around and ate it from the back, so by the end of it he didn't have to look at the face anymore because he would feel bad at chewing on the smiley face, so I kind of just did the same. It depends on how much icing is on there though, because if there's too much icing at the bottom or like with the chocolate pieces, it might fall off very easily and that would also just make a huge mess, so there are some things to consider before trying that method. So cute! Sue's excitement overshadows everything else. We each take a cupcake and we start to eat. Honestly, they taste as great as they look. The soft texture of the white cream perfectly accompanies the taste of the small bits of chocolate. Okay, I think it were the cat cupcakes. I turn to Natsuki, swallowing before opening my mouth. You made these? She raises an eyebrow. Yeah? These taste great. Thanks for bringing them. I give her an earnest smile, causing her to fold her arms and blush a little. Well, it's not like I made them for you or anything. I never said you did. I decide to give up on Natsuki's bizarre logic and turn my attention to Yuri, who's coming over with a tray holding a collection of teacups and a teapot. The faint steam hinting at freshly made tea. Always a pleasant smell. I have tea here too. You keep a whole tea set in here? Yuri smells as gently as ever. Don't worry, the tea just gave us permission. I smile back. Well, I'm not complaining. Besides, I wouldn't turn down tea. I'm glad. Yuri's cheeks redden a bit as she sets the tray down and starts pouring a drink for each of us. She then takes a seat after handing us our respective cups. So, Jasmine, what kinds of things do you like to read? I was kind of afraid of this question. Like, yeah, I've read a fair bit in the past, but nowhere near as much as anybody else in this club has, let alone Yuri. Of course, I still gotta be honest. Well, most of the time it ends up being like manga, song lyrics, and some other books. My voice trails off a bit. No worries. Maybe you'll pick up something to read during your time here. Maybe I will. I smile at Yuri again. I also noticed that Natsuki's head seemed to perk up a bit when I mentioned me reading manga. Maybe I'll be able to get recommendations from them both one day, who knows? He seems, thus far, this is the nicest MC I've ever met. I've ever had the pleasure of being inside of. Never mind. As the conversations carry on between each of us, I learn a bit more about the girls' literary interests. Honestly, it's amazing that they all seem quite close despite their varied tastes. It soon gets suggested that Natsuki's been writing poems recently, seemingly on the cute side. I'm kinda curious to learn more about that. I turn to her. You write your own poems, Natsuki? I guess. Why do you care? I find that impressive. Would you mind sharing them at some point? No. She retreats into her chair a bit. You wouldn't like them. Not a confident writer, I presume. Saying the obvious as usual. I feel the same as Natsuki. Yuri suddenly pipes up, still as gentle as ever. Sharing that level of writing requires more than just confidence. You must be willing to show your readers your vulnerable side, even showing them the deepest reaches of your heart. That was quite poetic, if I do say so myself. Monica joins the conversation again. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe now Scoot would feel comfortable if you shared some of your work. Yuri goes to say something but falls silent shortly after a bit of stammering. I empathize with her in a way. Like, I'm not usually the best at sharing my more emotional side, so really, especially if people I've really just met. I glance back at Monica. I guess it's the same for Yuri too. Aww. Sayori seems slightly downcast. I wanted to read everyone's poems. Just if you're wondering why I was just a bit quiet, I got impatient already. Checked real quick if the mod was released after the side stories because it really felt like it. And I think given the time the post was made, it was released after the side stories, and I feel like they maybe got a little bit of context thanks to that. Yeah, that's the same as always. There's a moment of silence. Seemingly out of nowhere, Sayori's vibrant green eyes sparkle with optimism. Okay, everyone, I've got an idea. Our collective gaze fixes onto Monica. How about we all go home and write a poem of our own and then share them tomorrow? That way, we'll all be even. There's a bit of hesitation from Natsuki and Yuri. Kind of expected that to be the case, though. I go to speak. I'd definitely be, yeah, let's do it! I'm suddenly cut off by Sayori's burst of energy. How the hell do I keep up with her? It does seem to put a smile on Monica's face, though. She turns to me. And since we've got a new member now, it should help strengthen the bond of the club. Isn't that right, Jasmine? Well, I hadn't been actively considering joining any clubs full time, but I can't deny that this club has quite a relaxed atmosphere. Be it because of the girls themselves or simply because it's a smaller club, I still haven't quite worked that one out yet. Besides, if writing poems is what it takes to reconnect with Monica, then I'd say it's worth it. I do feel like we're back to a bit of a romantic idea, but I feel like in his case he could actually just be interested in like the poetry and the song lyrics part maybe. I collect my thoughts. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Wait, you're joining? My response seems to take Zero by surprise. I nudge her. Come on, you'd think I wouldn't join? Besides, it's kinda cozy. The feeling of happiness about my decision seems to be mutual throughout the group. Hell, even Natsuki seems glad. If you just came for the cupcakes, I'd be super pissed. Sounds like something I could see myself saying. Well, that makes it official. Whilst Monica's voice is addressing the four of us, her eyes remain focused on me. Welcome to the Literature Club! After that, the meeting slowly comes to its conclusion. It was a lot less nerve-wracking than I thought it'd be. Everyone seems really nice too, which makes the atmosphere that much better. I pull out my phone to make a note of tonight's assignment. Write a poem for tonight. Sirius skips up to me as I slide my phone back into my pocket. You ready to go? Yeah, hang on. Sling my bag over my shoulder. Before we leave, I wave and say goodbye to the rest of the club. While Natsuki and Yuri shyly wave back at me, Monica's back in a way that's almost like she's saying goodbye to an old friend. See you tomorrow! Me and Sayori then begin to journey home. All throughout the walk home, my mind is already racing about what I could write tonight. However, there's only one thing, one person in fact, that my mind keeps coming back to. That being Monica. Just Monica. I couldn't put a finger on it as to why she was floating around in my brain. Sorry, there was something. So, whenever I'm not wearing my braces for a longer period of time, it feels like my teeth are exploding. Maybe it's because of my still present crush on her. I can't say for sure. All I do know is that she leaves me with this rather pleasant feeling in my chest, almost reminding me of when I first laid eyes on her. I stop momentarily and place my hand on my chest. My heart won't stop pounding. "Or is it Jasmine?" Sayra's voice breaks my thoughts. "Yeah?" I turn to face her, my face the feeling slightly red. "You okay?" My hands on my chest, I feel my heartbeat starting to steady. "It's nothing, Sayori." I can't tell her why I'm feeling this way. Well, at least why I think I do anyways. Just how would she even react? Just got stuff on my mind is all. The look that Sayori gives me is one that says, "I can see right through you," but she doesn't say anything to confirm that suspicion. "Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow." I bid her goodbye as we go our separate ways. As usual, I try the door to see if Mom's back from work. I get my key out of my pocket and let myself in. Mom's not home from work. I know Mama has been working 2 jobs since my dad died. Oh, jeez. But honestly, it gets lonely sometimes being here on my own. Okay, so this is the story now. I fetch a small bag of crisps from the cupboard to keep my stomach satisfied till dinner. Make my way upstairs, I take a quick detour into my bedroom, which I can describe as a nerd's paradise, to draw my bag and get out of my uniform. Can't really focus at home like that now, can I? After that, and more snacking, I make my way to what used to be the guest room. And there's like a little, somewhat not. There's a keyboard there. That's not a piano, but it's a small keyboard, I think. Yeah, because the keyboard for the computer is down here. And there's like a keyboard for like making music. We don't really have long-term guests anymore, so Mom decided to give me the room to myself to have somewhere to focus on my music. I still gotta tidy up this room at some point. I sit in the nearby office chair, internally debating with myself whether to work on music or the poem. Thinking about it, it would probably be best to sort out the poem. I mean, you could give the poem like the rhythm and the lyrical parts of it like a song. It could work. Got to make an at least decent first impression with my writing. I get up and return to my room. And back we go. Just short introduction to the room. After sitting at my desk, I grab a pen and a single piece of paper and start jotting down what's on my mind. I remember that being a technique taught to us during the first year English classes. Back then, I didn't expect to be using it outside of class. After about 5 minutes, I'm finished. Amidst the standard emotional stuff, there's the remnant of when I may have gone too far into my heart. I must have written down and then scribbled out Monica's name at least 4 or 6 times. Even now, the thought of her makes my heart race. Maybe that schoolboy crush of mine never died. Oh, hi there. School isn't that far in the past, but I don't remember them ever teaching us anything about writing poetry, just how to analyze it. The only poems we wrote were I don't know what the English term is. Eleveny? Like we wrote Elevenese. Is that the right term? I hope so. I don't want to look at my phone again. So I hope you know what I mean when I say that. Grabbing a second of sheet of paper, I feel a new sense of determination as I start letting my heart guide the movement of my pen. That in itself is oddly poetic for me. Is that a good sign? There's really only one way to find out. With the ring of the bell, another day of classes comes to an end. Since my last class was music, I quickly make my way to the club room. I like the way the music is made. Also, I just realized they also added that it was Tuesday, because in the main game it also starts on Tuesday. To my surprise, I'm the first one in. I at least thought that Monica would have been here first, given her being club president and all. Seizing the brief time alone, I take a seat at the nearest adjacent desk and take my laptop out of my bag to make some little tweaks to my latest class project. Sorry. The project itself is nothing too out there. It's a simple piece, driven mostly by a steady bass line, a piano, and a kick drum. It's akin to some of my earlier hyperactive productions, but definitely more simplistic when it comes to the sound design. I'm not good with music. One of my friends, there are a few people in my group that play like flute, in my friend group. There's like the flute, there's a piano player, a violin player. Someone I'm not too close with anymore plays drums, but not sure what exact type of drum. And we also had someone who played the guitar. And one that like can do stuff with the cowbell. That's always pretty cool. I listen to it. I listen again. Maybe I should scrap this. Just then my head backs back as the door opens. It's Monica. Ooh. Her arms are can't tell if her arms are intended to just be close to her body or if they're intended to be like slouched. I focus back at my laptop, praying she didn't notice me or my dilemma. She certainly does not look like she's feeling good. However, I then hear her back softly hit against the door and a long, exhausted sigh. I glance back and her eyes meet mine. Hey, Jasmine. Hey, Monica. I give her a gentle smile. You good? She smiles back. Kinda. She sighs again. This science class stressing me out. I can sympathize with her. There's only 2 science teachers for our year, those being Miss Nakama and Mr. Kurosawa. Whereas Nakama is more youthful and her lessons tend to be more down to earth. From what Sayori has told me, Kurosawa has a bit of a rep for being a hard ass. Let me guess, Kurosawa giving you a hard time? She nods. I pull out a chair for her. I don't have to say anything as she starts to come over to join me. Her eyes then focus on the screen of my laptop. What are you up to? She seems curious. My eyes first start to the screen, then back to her. I feel my cheeks redden a bit. It's nothing, just a class project. Kinda thinking of starting over. She focuses a little more on the screen before eyes flicker back to meet mine. A smile forms across her face. Mind if I have a listen? Sure. I'll smile back as I then hit the spacebar to play the track. Again, part of me wants to restart it, but I can't help but notice that Monica seems to kinda enjoy it. Even her head is bobbing to the beat. As soon as it began, the track comes to an end and, if on cue, the door opens and the rest of the club make their way into the room. I once made a rap for a friend. It's just like a joking rap. It was just like I literally called it bread rap, and I literally just said stupid shit. And I used Incredibox stuff to make the beat in the background. It just speaking about the beat, it reminded me of that because I feel like I did well with it. However, aside from a meme, there is nothing that it would do. But I still laugh when I think about it. Monica quickly turns to me, seemingly taken aback by the sudden entry of the rest of the club. I'll tell you what I thought in a bit. She smiles sweetly and I smile back. That damn irresistible smile of hers. To be frank, this is how I speak and think. My thoughts are also just... She then gets up and starts to greet the rest of the club. I quickly close my laptop and slide it back into my bag. I then feel the air quickly leave my lungs as a pair of arms suddenly clap around me. Hey, Jasmine! Sayori's voice rings into my ears. Hey, Sayori! I struggle to get my words out as I wriggle my way to freedom. Yuri then approaches me, a warm yet timid smile on her face. Good to see you didn't run away on us, Jasmine. A chuckle returning the smile. You don't have to worry about me doing that. Besides, how could I run away from a place as comfy as this? Natsuki soon interjects with a mix of her regular sass and a grin. Don't get too comfy though. You won't hear the end of it. I know. Honestly, it's kind of amusing when Natsuki tries to be assertive. Though I have the feeling that if I said that, my nose would probably be the first to know it. Sue lets out a giggle before speaking again. Don't worry, Jasmine always gives it his best when he's having fun. He helps me with busy work without me asking. She then audibly counts everything I've helped her with. Cooking, cleaning my room. She eventually loses her train of thought. Oh, dependable. Yuri smiles gently at the pair of us. I might be a little jealous if I'm honest. I chuckle, feeling my cheeks redden. To be fair, this isn't the first time someone might have gotten the wrong impression about Sayori and I's friendship. No, Yuri, it's not like that at all. I smile back at her. Her room gets a bit distracting when it's messy. I then turn to Sayori, not to mention the little incident with the bacon last week. Sayori glares jokingly and pouts. Can we not bring that up? I then whisper to Sayori. Yeah, she almost set her kitchen on fire. Yuri giggles gently. After that, everyone departs to what I assume are their usual activities. Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. Siri's having a cheery conversation with Monika in the corner, and Yuri's face is buried within quite a sizable novel. Her intense expression hints that she's been longing for this moment. Speaking of novels, I should probably pick up a book to read. After all, I did join a literature club. It's really the least I can do. I walk to the back of the room and start scanning the books located there. I kind of like that Yuri didn't give any book to the MC, because it feels like she isn't exactly in love already with him. Which makes sense because this is not just because it's a mod between Monika and him. Or is it? I'm assuming from what I can tell, it's a Monika. It's a story about Monika and him, at least in the romantic sense. And due to that, I just feel like it feels less like a dating sim, which I feel is a good thing in the context of the mod. I have a few mods already prepared that I'm going to play that are focusing on romance, so let's see how that's gonna go then. I walk to the back of the room and start scanning the books located there. My eyes scan each title on the various spines. I mumble to myself, keeping my voice as quiet as possible as to not distract the girls. Exit music. No, oh no. Fallen angel, no. I mean, those Weremos say the writing was my favorite. But still, it kind of feels, I can't tell if they're just giving nods to it, or it feels to me a little bit, if that would happen to me, I was like, are they saying my mod is bad? I keep going until my eyes meet on a particular looking spine. I go to pull the book off the shelf to check out the book more thoroughly. That is, until I feel a hand tap my shoulder and I spin around, quite honestly taken aback. Just Sayori. Just Sayori. I keep my voice low. Jesus, Sayori, you startled me. Sayori just giggles proudly before speaking. Monika wants to ask you something. She then practically drags me by my arm to the front of the class where, as suggested, Monika is waiting for me. Any harder and she might have yanked my arm clean off. Monika closes her notebook and looks up at me, smiling once more. Hi, Jasmine! Hey, Monika. I find myself blushing. Sue gives me a sly glance that simply says, I knew it, but Monika doesn't seem to notice. Sarah says you wanted me for something? Yeah, I do actually. Monika steps up from the desk and gets near me and Sayori. I was gonna get some supplies from the art department and was wondering if you'd maybe want to tag along. The way she says that sends butterflies down my stomach. But at the same time, I can't help to think, wouldn't Sayori be better for that? But I'm still deciding. She stops herself and then lowers her voice a bit, as to not get the attention of Natsuki and Yuri. The posters. I decide not to press either of them on on it just yet. In that case, I'd be glad. I smile at Monica. The look on Sayuri's face from earlier remains. Maybe this can give us a bit more time to talk. Monica beams at me. I promise we won't be too long. Honestly, I'd love to spend as much time as I can with her. Monica then turns her attention to Sayuri. You don't mind watching the club once we're gone, right? Well, I am the vice president after all. Sayuri teases playfully before plopping herself at the front desk. And with that, Monica lets Natsuki and Yuri know that the pair of us will be back in a bit before we make our way to the corridor. Once outside, I notice Monica looking back into the club with a not-so-subtle smile on her face. It's just so relaxing in there. I can't help but smile too. It is. I'm guessing that's part of the reason you started in the first place. Monica turns to me. Honestly, yeah. Most of the other clubs are mostly just arguing about publicity, the budget, and the festival. Not to mention the drama. She chuckles as she looks back initially. Like, in the second year, you must have been part of every major club there was. And if I remember right, weren't you in the debate club at the start of this year? Monica laughs as we start walking down the hall. Oh god, don't get me started in the debate club! Worst mistake of my life! The worst mistake of your life so far. As we get further, the conversation only grows. It's not too long till Monica is letting me know how most of the bigger clubs aren't all that they're cracked up to be. Eventually, we end up talking about the literature club once again. I'd rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. Her enthusiasm is just about as contagious as her smile. In that case, I'm surprised more people haven't joined yet. It is true though. I mean, I know literature club doesn't sound too exciting, but for me, it's only fair to judge a book by its members, and at least from what I can tell, everyone else in the club seems really nice and close with each other. Monica speaks again. A literature club would be for me. I was like, in primary school, I remember there were like multiple courses you could take, and I took the one where you could, like, you had to pick one. But I was really interested in the book course, and I also took a book with me there to talk about with the others very frequently. And in the problems in Germany, schools are a bit different. But it was in my high school years where lower classes were offered like writing courses. But the problem is, like I said, it was for the lower classes, and I was in my final 2 years, and I couldn't go there. I couldn't join the writing courses, even though I really, really wanted to. That only makes events like the festival that more important. Hopefully we can all grow the club before we graduate. A thought pops into my head. So after that, would Natsuki become president or something? Monica giggles. No. Natsuki's in the same year as the rest of us. Oh, my bad. Oh, don't apologize. She gets that all the time. That's not a good thing. We keep walking until we reach the corridor to the art department. It's a section of the school I've not visited since the first year. To be honest, I was never really any good at art in the traditional sense, being more creative with computers and music software. So I dropped out of the start of the second year. Wait a second, I'm going to decipher the sentence. I was never really good at art in the traditional sense, being more creative with computers and music software. And I don't know if it's my German or not, but I feel like here a comma would be suitable for me to understand. So I dropped out of it the start of the second year. I think I got what was it. I noticed Monica peeking through the door, presumably checking if there's a club going on or something. We're clear! Monica calls me over as she opens the door, and I quickly follow her inside. Monica's already made her way to the supplies closet and has started searching. I, on the other hand, just as I stand there, was taking the occasional glance at her. Eventually, she breaks the silence. Hey, could you hold this a sec? She holds out a small pile of cardstock. I take it and she thanks me with the same sweet smile she's always had. In a way, I'm glad we're doing this out of normal school hours. God only knows the kind of rumors that would spring up if anyone outside the club saw us alone in a classroom. Although, admittedly, oh God. Ah! Okay. I usually try to use the keyboard because it makes less noise than the mouse. But it works because I can do this, but it doesn't light up, so it's a bit confusing. Although, admittedly, the thought of us making out in a barren classroom feels kinda Jasmine. Monica's curious tone snaps me out of my little daydream. You okay? Yeah, just spaced out a bit. I stammer as I try to cover my back. Luckily, she seems to buy it. No worries. She giggles as she steps out of the closet and shuts the door behind her. It happens to the best of us. Can't imagine you doing it. I chuckle. Well, she traces the edge of a desk with her finger, as if tracing back her thoughts. It happened to me before. Hell, when Sayori first came to the club, she caught me napping on the front desk. Okay, so I checked and it was made after the side stories, and I'm pretty sure this is like the side story universe, just that the MC did not join the anime club as it's implied in the side stories, but he's someone who still hasn't joined the club and his main interest is more musically. Cool, I like that idea. Now that sounds more like Sayori than you, Monica. I decided to tease her a bit. Coffee only gets you so far, you know? Yeah, she's right about that. Oh God, someone I know has like a sick addiction to coffee. No, it doesn't seem to be that bad that it's like sickening, but there certainly appears to be somewhat of an addiction going on. Honestly, outside of the club, Monica seems really genuine and down to earth. Part of me wonders if anyone else has this side of her. I mean, I'm guessing everyone else in the club has, and her other friends have seen it. I think we're all done here. Ready to head back? Yeah. I make sure I've still got everything she's handed me, and we start making our way back upstairs. Why we didn't just use an elevator is beyond me, but I'm not complaining about spending more time with Monica. You have... in my first primary school we had an elevator, but aside from that, our schools never had elevators. Before we start to reach the club room, I decide to ask about the track we listened to before the club started. So, what did you think about the track from earlier? I liked it. Her eyes meet mine. My only problem with it is that it's too short. We both laugh a bit about that. I find myself blushing again. It's nothing really. Besides, knowing you're probably better at music than I am. I did practice piano a bit, but I wasn't any good at it. I highly doubt that. We soon make our way back to the club room. Upon entering, not much has changed. Yuri still focused on her novel, while Sayori and Natsuki are chatting near the windowsill. Sayori then notices both and practically skips towards us. You got everything you needed? Both Monica and I nod. Yep, honestly, Jasmine was a real help. I give a smirk. It's no problem, really. Natsuki then pipes up as Sayori collects everything and takes it to the front. What took you two so long? Were you making out? As much as I'd love that to have happened, I can't help but be a little taken aback by how sincere she sounded. I glance at Monica and we both share a blush. But the more I look at her, the more I see a faint smile being delicately painted across her face. Maybe deep down she wanted that to have been a reality. A reality? Why is it? Okay, it's not available, I was wondering. Natsuki then focuses on me. Honestly, Jasmine, I thought you'd be a pump and go kind of guy, but color me impressed. She snaps that off with an insanely cheeky smile. Pump and go kind of guy, but... What does she... Oh! My face goes an even deeper shade of red. One that my nerdy brain can only describe as almost cacodemon. My eyes widen as well. No, Natsuki! By the time I gather myself, Natsuki's already gotten closer to me and brings herself up to my ear. Well, as close as someone as short as her can get. It's obvious you've thought about it. I go to deny it, though thankfully I don't need to, as Natsuki's already trotted off safely back onto the windowsill. Yuri looks over at her and sighs. Please show some decency, Natsuki. I was only teasing. Natsuki's voice whines as Yuri shakes her head. Can't deny that it was at least kind of funny. I don't have much time to settle down before Monika announces to the club. Okay, everyone! It's time to share poems! With that, Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly get their poems out of their bags, as do I. Sayori pulls hers out of her pocket. Typical Sayori. Monika then walks over to me. You remembered to write a poem? You remembered to write a poem last night? I did, yeah. I grumble. It was kind of the first thing I did when I got back. It's probably not any good. Monika then pats my shoulder. Don't worry, I'm not really good at this either. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. Doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? A faint blush overcomes her cheeks. Besides, I'm just looking forward to see how you express yourself. The way she smiles at me, combined with how she said that last part, sends a rather pleasant feeling down my stomach. I can't describe it too well, but it feels really sweet. You too, Monika. She then strides off back to the front desk to get her notebook. Still feeling a tinge awkward about the whole scenario I've thrown myself into, I go to share my poem with Sayori. After all, she knows me better than anybody in the club does. Then in mind, I go over and sit in front of her. Share the poem with Sayori. Hey Sayori! Sayori smiles cheerily. Oh hey Jasmine! You ready to share your poem? I guess. Once again, I find myself mumbling. God, this is embarrassing. I lower my head to the desk, only for Sayori to do the same, lowering her voice as well. About the poem, or what Natsuki said about you and Monika? About the poems! I respond quickly, keeping my voice low enough to not catch anyone else's attention. About the poems! Afterwards, I place my head on the desk, only for Sayori to pat the back of my noggin. I believe you, don't worry. I look up at her and I smirk, sliding my poem over to her. She flashes me a quick smile before starting to read my poem. In time, she finishes reading, looking quite proud. This is a really good poem! It's got some nice feelings in it. I chuckle with another smirk. You're just saying that. No, I'm not. I mean it. She sounds sincere. Thanks, Sayori. It's kinda cold in this room. Surely, I'm not as good as she's making out. I can't deny that it feels nice, though. Anyway, could I read your poem? Go for it! Sayori beams. I pick her poem off the table and begin to read it. The poem titled Dear Sunshine seems just like something you can imagine Sayori writing. The more melancholic connotations to the words aren't lost on me either. However, the last line makes me smile to myself. I want breakfast. I glance up at her. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. But did you write this morning? She seems genuinely confused. In response, I turn the paper in the direction so she can read it and point to the line. Her eyes scan the paper until they finally meet my finger. She blushes a little. I don't remember writing that. I give a reassuring smile. Come on, it's okay. She smiles back as I continue. Besides, if you think about it, it still works. Sayori cocks her head a little to the side. The way I'm thinking about is that the subject of this poem is probably just waking up like they would any other day. Maybe the whole I want breakfast thing could be seen as them getting out of bed. She's nodding as if she's thinking it over. That actually kind of makes sense. You're sounding a bit like Monika. I feel myself blushing slightly. Nah, you're just saying that. I chuckle nervously, a part of me hoping that Monika didn't hear what she said. Sayori simply shakes her head, her grin never leaving her face. Anyways, I'm gonna share with Natsuki now. Okay. In a bit! I've never seen people just say, Not just like see you in a bit, but just in a bit. I have. I wave back at Sayori as she starts chatting with Natsuki. I look back to Monica, notes that she's just finishing up with Yuri. Monica seemed quite eager to see my poem earlier, so it only makes sense that I should share with her next. Poem in hand, I get up and walk over. I give her a short wave and smile. Hey. Her eyes meet mine, and she smiles sweetly at me. Hey Jasmine, you having a good time so far? I am, yeah. I take a seat right in front of Monica. I'm glad. I just ignore the fact that I've not really spent too much time inside the club room today, having spent the majority of my time here with her. But in all fairness, I'd be lying if I didn't say I was enjoying myself. Also, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any ideas of other activities we could do or what we could do better, don't be afraid to let me know. Don't worry, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'm gonna be afraid to let her know. Besides, what experience do I have at organizing clubs? I'm better off just trusting Monica's judgment on things. No, she does need a bit of help. Anyway, I guess I've gotta show you my poem. I timidly slide the sheet over to her. Yep. I've actually been looking forward to it. To everyone's poems or just mine. She picks up the sheet and begins to read it with an intent expression. Minutes pass, no time for her to finish reading the poem. My mind keeps telling me she hates it, but she eventually places the paper down and looks quite astonished. Are you sure this is your first time writing poetry? Yeah? I feel a bead of sweat trickle down my forehead. Is it that bad? No! Monica's tone shifts to a more apologetic tone. I didn't mean it like that. Her cheeks redden a bit. I just meant that it was pretty good. Sayori's saying that is one thing. But Monica, though? Nah, you can't be serious. No, I am. She smiles sweetly at me, causing me to smile back as well. In a way, the language kind of reminds me of my own poems. It does? I'm surprised at that comment. My writing's never been that great, even with my improving over the years, There's no way in hell that it could seriously compared to her work, though, right? She nods, sliding her notebook over to me, signaling me to read it. I focus on the page. Oh, it seems they didn't exactly write poems, like on paper. Her poem seems to tell the story of a person doing all they can to preserve the way that people think about them, no matter the strain on their mind. It's quite solemn, yet hopeful at the same time. Wait a second, I'm turning up the thermostat, because it's really quite cold in here. Okay. By the end, there's the suggestion that one day they won't need to keep appearances up. I read it through a second time before looking back up at Monica, completely taken aback. I knew she'd be good at this, but this is something else. That was really great. Is that all you can say, Jasmine? Monica smirks. Glad you liked it. As I hand her notebook back, a thought crosses my mind. Kinda curious though, what was on your mind when you wrote this? Monica stops, silently mulling over what to say next. She takes a deep breath. I'd say over the years, I've noticed that some people have a habit of keeping up appearances just because people see them a certain way. That's a little deeper than I expected. I'd expected. It does also remind me of certain people I've seen, mostly high schoolers. Sorry, I hope I cut this part out or at least sped it up because there was an alarming message. Go on. Like, I wouldn't say I'm the best at reading people, but I at least think people that like that may hate being held to such high standards. She goes on, sounding like an expert. Then again, she's been around so many people over the years. I've known her so I've known her, so that very well may be the case. I think there's a few punctuation problems. I take a sigh as I collect my thoughts. Honestly, that's partially what I thought it was about. Monica gives me a knowing smile. Maybe we're more alike than you thought. I seriously doubt that. All because we thought the same once can't mean much, right? Unless she remembers our discussions in class back then. Girl's mind is far better than mine if that's the case. I decide to humor her. Maybe we are, maybe we aren't. That wasn't like with the singing. Okay, I will have to cut quite a few things out here. We share a short laugh between us. That's something that takes me back fondly. She was the one person that made last year's English class bearable to get through. I guess that's why I always gravitated towards her for group work. Either that or it's because she was probably the one person in that class that put up with my sorry ass. Maybe it's a bit of both. I don't fucking know. But that's in the past. I need to focus on now. Monica's the first to talk after our short laugh. I was kind of worried you wouldn't take this seriously, but you surprised me. I feel my face redden a bit. Hey, it's nothing. I chose to be part of this club after all. And I'm glad you are. Thanks, Monica. My stammering side takes center stage again. Damn nerves. Thanks for sharing. I need to put down the thermostat again. It's too hot. I hate it. I get from my seat to figure out who to share with next. Since Sayori and Natsuki still seem to be in deep discussion, whether about the poem or something else as anyone's guess, I decide to share with Yuri. With one final side that's everyone shared with. I had a feeling today would be a bit more stressful than before because of the poems, and I was practically right about that. Sure, Mon and Sayori were easy to deal with, but sharing with Yuri and Natsuki and Yuri was a little more tense than I would have liked. Sorry, I need to... No worries, sir. No worries, though. I'm sure I'll be able to improve. Yuri seemed quite willing to help me with that. Eager, almost. As I'm sitting back, I can see Sarah and Monica having a chat. I think they've just finished sharing. Natsuki and Yuri, on the other hand, seem to be trying to find the right words to say to each other. From where I am, I see Natsuki slide Yuri's poem back over to her in a rather dismissive fashion. I guess you could say it's fancy. Yuri smiles sadly in response. Thanks. She then returns Natsuki's poem back to her. Yours is... cute. Both responses are rather drab. Hell, they do seem to generalize each other's work quite a bit, yeah. Natsuki stands up, seeming quite irritated by Yuri's comment. Cute? It's clear about the feeling of giving up! How can that be cute? I know that! Yuri visibly panics. It's obvious she's not used to being put on the spot like this. I just meant... the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. Oh yeah? Well, it didn't come out nice at all! Natsuki crosses her arms as she scoffs. A tense moment of silence follows. Mon and Sayori turn around in preparation for whatever may happen next. Yuri breaks the silence as quickly as it had came over the room. Well, I do have some suggestions. If I wanted suggestions, I'd ask someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Sayori liked it, and so did Jasmine. So based on that, I'll go give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me. It's a sharp contrast to see Natsuki. Yuri's soft and calculated mannerisms are enough to silence her. I spent a long time refining my writing style, and unless I come across anything new that inspires me, I don't see it changing. Natsuki's face adopts a look of clear irritance. And Jasmine liked my poem too. He even told me he was impressed by it. To be honest, I was impressed by both your poems, so that's actually kinda true. The pair fall silent for a brief moment before Natsuki crafts a smug smile, like she's cracked the Enigma code or something. I didn't know you were so invested in trying to impress Jasmine, Yuri. What? Yuri's expression changes to one of flustered bewilderment. I look back at Sarah Monica, who just seemed confused by Natsuki's sudden comment. I'm on the same page as them. I turn back to Natsuki and Yuri with a sigh. I guess it's up to me to put a stop to this before it escalates. Listen, girls. The pair of them look at me with expectant eyes. It's true that both your poems impressed me. I can't deny that. But is that any reason to take shots at each other? I give them a brief period of time to think what I just said over before continuing. Like seriously, you both are able to convey the messages you want to send in how many words you like. It doesn't matter which words you use. Your message is still valid. More silence follows. I'm just wondering where the fuck this confidence came from. I look back, feeling unsure of my attempt to disarm the possible argument. Buster and Monica are nodding vigorously, Monica herself especially looking fairly surprised. To her credit, she always knew me as the guy that was too nervous to speak up in class. You're right. I'm terribly sorry for disrespecting your work, Natsuki. Natsuki, however, looks like she still might have some fight left in her. Before she can throw out anything else, Monica steps in, and whilst the look on her face is stern, her voice is soft and calm. Natsuki, Yuri apologized. Don't you think you should too? Natsuki simply looks away from the rest of the group, completely unsure of what to say. Soon enough, though, she turns to face Yuri. Look, Yuri, I'm sorry too. As the pair make up, I go to Sayuri and breathe a sigh of relief. I didn't know you had that in you! Sayuri, of course, seems quite surprised, impressed with me. Seriously, thanks for stepping in there. Monica then sighs and lowers her voice. I can't even manage my own club members. Some president I am, huh? Hey, don't beat yourself up, okay? I think everyone's just a little on edge today. It's only after I finished talking that I realized I'd placed my hand on Monica's shoulder. I quickly retracted. Sorry. No, you're right. It's only once she says that I spot a faint blush creep its way onto Monica's cheeks. Okay, everyone, it's time to wrap up for today. Once again, Monica's voice fills the room, her confidence in herself seemingly returning. How did everyone feel about sharing poems? I think it went great. And wait, it went better than I thought it would. It went okay. Well, mostly. Natsuki flashes you an awkward glance. Yuri doesn't seem to notice it, though. Monica then turns her attention to me. How about you, Jasmine? I'd say it went pretty well. Monica smiles optimistically. In that case, how about we do the same for tomorrow? The remaining four of us agree in unison. To be fair, I doubt I'd get better at this if we just dropped it after one day. Besides, I'm not going to turn down a way to express myself creatively. After some more conversation about the day, we all start to pack up. It isn't too long until Sayuri and I wave goodbye and depart from the club. Unlike most of our walks home, Sayuri is fairly quiet for the most part of it. However, it's clear that it's not because something's bothering her, rather it seems like she's thinking hard about something. I swear the inner machinations of her mind could be one of life's greatest mysteries. To think that I once thought there wasn't more to her than unfolded happiness. Oh, how naive I was. Hey, Jasmine! Cyrus speaks after what feels like forever, although it realistically must have only been a couple of minutes at most. Mind if I ask you something interesting? I don't even know if that's the right word to use. Yeah, sure. I step on the pavement and turn on my heel to face Sayuri. A moment passes as she ponders how to word whatever she wants to ask me. So, how do you think Monica feels about you? What? Out of whatever I was expecting her to ask, that certainly wasn't it. Hell, it's kinda surprising that she was so full with it. Normally, she'd just verbally dance around the actual question. Where on earth did that come from?
I shouldn't say much, but she did kind of ask me about you this morning. Plus, it's pretty obvious you're into her, Jasmine.
Surely not, right? I remained silent, pondering on how to respond. Just gotta play it cool, Jasmine.
You are, aren't you?
There's no way I can lie to her at this point, is there? Then again, why would I ever need or want to do so? She's my best friend. If I can trust anyone with my secret, it'd definitely be her. I am, yeah. I've been for a while. That's the first time I've admitted my crush to anybody else. In a way, I'm thankful that the first person I tell is Sayori. But at the same time, I'm nervous as to what her reaction will be. Sayori hasn't yet said anything in response, opting instead to motion for me to continue talking. Might as well let this all out. I gulp. I think it started when... I was preparing to gulp, but didn't do it. I think it started when second year started. Even though we only had one class together, we got on really well. Like, you remember how I was still quite nervous to talk to anyone but you for the longest time? Sayori nods, listening intently as if to ensure she doesn't miss a word. Well, Monica started talking to me first and I didn't feel like I had to hide myself. I could be myself around her, and she had never once judged me for it. I fall silent. My brain is screaming at me to stop, but I don't care. I need to get this out. I can do this. Just being around her made class that bit more bearable. Like, I don't know if she chose to be around me or what. It just felt nice. But I knew I'd never have a shot in hell with her. Especially after
Yuki, right?
Yeah. Ah, yes. Yuki Sakamoto. The girl who broke my heart and left the girl who left my heart and left the biggest dent in my confidence. She'd been dared to go out with the weird kid, that being me. When I'd later found out that she'd been cheating on me and confronted her about it, she just laughed. I still remember what she said. Why would anyone love you? Thankfully, she's been long gone for a while now. Still doesn't change what she did.
Jasmine, I promise you, Monica's not like that at all. What if she's not, Jasmine? There's people out there that would love you. You trust me, right?
Of course I do, Sayo. My voice trails off.
Monica's really sweet. You have my word on that. And from what I can tell, she seems really comfortable around you. Not to mention, quite easy to fluster.
Yeah, Natsuki proved that to be true for both of us. I get the strange feeling that I'm never gonna live that down.